Hello, everyone, and welcome to the channel. Welcome to another Ask the Expert segment. I am Dwaynia, the founder of Canadian Small Business Women, and I am so excited for this second video in our series with our segment sponsor, Xero. Let me tell you a little bit about Xero. It's a cloud accounting software for small businesses and their advisors. They help over 3.3 million subscribers around the world manage their accounting and bookkeeping quickly and easily. Because you are part of the CSBW community, Xero is offering you a free trial for 30 days, and then you get 30% off the next 6 months. Click the link below in the description to get started. Now, our special guest, our expert for today is Emily Holt. Emily's a CPA and a partner at Rice and Company, an Alberta and BC-based CPA firm with clients across Canada. She has a wide range of experience, including as a SaaS CEO, public company CFO, IT auditor, and tax advisor, and uses this experience to help her small business clients with whatever they need. She's also a Xero ambassador, helping to share the benefits of Xero accounting software in Canada. Welcome, Emily.
Thank you, Dwaynia. Great to be here again.
All right. So everyone, if you didn't catch the first video, still watch this one, but make sure you go back and catch the first video because we talked about accounting and bookkeeping. And believe me, you need to know about accounting and bookkeeping. This time, we're going to talk about understanding your business numbers. You always hear, what are your numbers? And especially if you watch a lot of those pitch shows and, the Dragon's Dens and all those things, what are your numbers? You need to know these things. So here's a question for you, Emily. As a CPA and a small business advisor, what are some of the ways you help small business owners make sense of their business numbers?
A huge amount of my role is education with new business owners. So it's going through their records to check for accuracy and then sitting down with them to show them what that means. So a lot of them don't necessarily know what an income statement is versus a cash flow statement or what a balance sheet means. So a huge amount of it's education to teach them this is what each thing means, this is why it matters, and there are endless things you could look at. So for each business, pointing them at the metrics that make sense for them. For some businesses, that can be income. For other businesses, it might be much more cash focused. It depends on the business and what they're doing. So it teaches them what's going on and then makes sense for their business because every single business is a little different.
Yes. And those statements that Emily just mentioned, you can get them in resources from Xero, correct?
Yeah. So one of the big things about teaching this is that we're not only showing them what they mean, we're also showing them how they can get them. So if they're running their business on Xero, they can get all this information themselves in a couple clicks through the reports. And we can build customized reports so that if there's something that they really want to see or that they should be focusing on, we can build reports that will highlight those instead of just being a standard, same income statement for every company.
Perfect. So then what are some of the basic business numbers that small business owners should always keep a pulse on?
So I'd really focus on kind of three numbers. And the number one and most obvious is the bank balance. Because, income statements are an opinion, cash flow is a fact. So, you can have an income statement that says you're earning $1 million a year. If at the end of the day you have $0 in your bank account, that matters a lot more. So I always tell them, keep your bank balance in mind, be looking at that, be aware of what's going on. It's also a great way to prevent fraud. If you're never looking in your bank account and somebody's taken money, you're not going to realize till it's too late. So we always tell people look at cash. And then the second one is profit, is how much are you earning by the time you've paid all your expenses. And because way too many people think of it as, well, my income's what's left after I've spent everything else. But if you're not focusing on profit, then you're never going to have it, because you'll focus on growing revenue. But if that doesn't increase your profit, all you did was spend more time and more effort to earn the same amount of money. So, looking at that bottom line of, am I actually making money? Am I making money on this client? Am I making money on this project? And then the last one is the cost of selling, which is, how much do things cost? Am I selling something for $50 and it costs me $40? Am I, because a lot of times people don't realize that it costs them $40. They say, well, I'm selling it for $50 and it only cost me $5. But by the time they add the shipping and the shipping to the person that they sold it to, and the fees from Amazon for having sold it, they don't realize that it actually cost them $40. And so maybe in that situation, you shouldn't be selling it for $50. You should be trying to sell it for $60 or $70. So always looking at the total cost, not just, the margin.
Yeah, and especially over the past couple of years with inflation and with all the issues that we've been having across the world with shipping in general, everything has increased in price. So as a business owner, you need to now definitely sit down and look at those margins and say, okay, everything has increased. How am I going to transfer the extra cost that I have to either still keep the same profit margin or increase it, depending, right? So yes, know those numbers.
Absolutely.
And don't be afraid to look at your bank account, because I feel like there are some people who get stressed out about the thought of, oh my gosh, I know I don't have a lot of money. I don't want to see the number, but you need to see it.
You do. Like medical problems, money problems will not go away on their own.
Mm-hmm. So how can small business owners tell if they're making a profit?
The most important thing here is to be keeping your books. If you aren't keeping records, it's practically impossible. So to be able to look at this information on a continuous basis and compare month to month and see if you're improving, you need to be keeping your books, and ideally using accounting software. So using Xero, so all your expenses are in there, your credit card is hooked up, your bank account is hooked up, all the information is in there, it's all been categorized, and now you can pull a report that says this is what it is. Or there's actually a dashboard when you log in that shows you the bank balance for the last month and your credit card balance for the last month, but it also highlights other accounts. So you can see what your sales are month to date and your expenses are month to date, so that you can be paying attention to those every day. And that's really such a key benefit of using an online solution, is that the ability to have that information.
Yeah, you don't have to sit and try to figure out if you're calculating things correctly or if you've missed something. It's all automated.
Definitely.
So then cash flow is usually at the top of mind for business owners, right? So why is understanding cash flow important, and how can small business owners tell if they're cash flow positive?
So yeah, cash flow, as said, is number one because it's a fact. And the reason understanding it is important is because it is different than profit. Because profit is what occurred in the period, whether or not cash changed hands. So if you sell somebody something this month for $1,000 and they don't pay you for 3 months, you still record the sale this month and you still record the expense this month. And same thing on capital assets. If you have to buy really expensive computers to do the project, they're amortized over a few years. So that big cash outflow won't show on your income statement, but it'll certainly show on your bank account. So we really say, I have seen successful businesses that struggle despite outrageously fast growing sales. They struggle because they had to spend so much money on new equipment to get those extra sales that they're barely able to make payroll. So you can have a successful business and still be insolvent. So really focusing on that cash number, because you can tell the bank that you've got $1 million in profit, but if the cash is never coming in the door, you're going to be in a pretty rough state.
Yeah. So then what's the best way to keep track of these important business numbers?
Again, it's keeping those records and using an online system so that you can get numbers at any point in time. Xero recently released a management report. So rather than having to go in and pull an income statement, a balance sheet, and different sheets, you can create a management report, and your advisor can help you, where you can see all of the metrics that matter. You can see your change in cash, you can see your ratios, and then you can see your balance sheet and your income statement and your cash flow statement all in the same report that can be pulled anytime. It can have month over month comparables. So yeah, it's all about having that data online so that you can access it and see it.
Nice. So now that we all know a lot about, cash flow and your balance statements and all the things, you should now have a better understanding of how to understand your business numbers. No excuses. If you have questions, drop them in the comments. Remember, comments or link in the description. 2 ways to submit your questions, and we'll be sure to answer them. If you have other business related questions, you can also submit them at the link in the description. Also, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let us know your thoughts on this segment. A special thank you to our segment sponsor, Xero. Remember, Xero is offering a discount to all the members of the Canadian Small Business Women community. You can try Xero for free for 30 days and then get 30% off for 6 months. Click on the link in the description to get started. And thank you so much to our very special guest expert today, Emily Holt. We will see you in the next video.